Hey, I'm Erin, and welcome back to Erin on the Side of Caution. I make videos about the self-help industry, sketchy gurus, shady groups, and whatever topic I'm currently obsessed with researching. Today, we're going through a list of the 10 worst self-help books of all time, with the receipts on why they've gotten so much backlash. These books have been accused of giving harmful or misleading advice, reinforcing negative stereotypes, or simply being poorly written and unhelpful. And while you're watching, tell me in the comments, what's the worst self-help book you've ever read, or the one you couldn't finish because it was making you roll your eyes so hard? First up, we have number 10, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by John Gray. This famous relationship guide is criticized for promoting oversimplified and stereotypical views of gender differences. Gray's central idea is that men and women communicate so differently that they might as well be from different planets. The book's advice often leans on tired cliches instead of evidence-based insights. Psychologists have noted it's a simplistic metaphor full of inaccuracies, stereotypes, and biases, which can reinforce sexist assumptions. In reality, research shows far more overlap than difference in how individuals communicate, meaning that this book's one-size-fits-all gender generalizations may do more harm than good in relationships. Number 9 is The Rules, Time-Tested Secrets for Capturing the Heart of Mr. Right by Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider. An infamous dating book for women, The Rules encourages manipulative tactics and old-fashioned gender roles. It advises women to always play hard to get, never call men back, never accept a date on short notice, and more. Critics call it a toxic throwback that promotes inauthentic relationships. The book even includes a chapter most men find chatty women annoying, basically telling women to talk less to attract a man. In 2013, the authors updated it with modern tips such as texting guidelines, but the core message remains dated. The Rules has been denounced for encouraging dishonesty and game playing instead of healthy communication, potentially undermining trust and respect in relationships. Number 8 is Girl, Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. This hugely popular self-help memoir is loaded with tough love advice that many readers found tone-deaf or harmful. Hollis's overarching message is that women should take personal responsibility for every problem in their life, which veers into victim blaming. She gives anecdotal tips on everything from weight loss to marriage, but often ignores privilege or external challenges. Notably, Hollis equates health and moral worth in a way many reviewers slammed as body shaming. For example, she insists that anyone out of shape is only living half their life and needs to stop making excuses, advice that one reviewer called harmful and gross. The book's credibility was further marred by Hollis's cherry-picked success stories, which are mostly her own, and a lack of professional insight. In short, Girl, Wash Your Face serves up shallow motivational slogans that can make struggling readers feel worse, not better. Number 7 is my personal choice for worst self-help book of all time, and that is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Although it's a bestseller that launched the modern self-help genre, Think and Grow Rich has since been exposed as built on false claims and pseudoscience. Napoleon Hill asserts that simply thinking positively and visualizing wealth will attract success, an early version of law of attraction mysticism. The book lacks actionable advice beyond repeating, believe and you will achieve. But the big story is the author's background. Historians have uncovered that Napoleon Hill fabricated most of his success stories and credentials. Hill claimed to have interviewed Andrew Carnegie and other tycoons to derive his success formula, but there's no evidence that Hill ever met any famous person he claimed in the book's creation. In fact, Hill was involved in multiple get-rich-quick schemes in his lifetime. As one critique summarized, Napoleon Hill was a fraud, and his only success was this book, a work of fiction that makes massive, unsubstantiated claims. Today, Think and Grow Rich is often cited as dangerous because it promotes magical thinking and gives desperate people false hope rather than practical steps. I'm working on a future video that will go deeper into the life and schemes of Napoleon Hill, so subscribe if you'd like to see that. Number 6 is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This personal finance book remains wildly popular, but experts warn that its financial advice is at best useless and at worst harmful. Kiyosaki's core message is appealing, challenging conventional wisdom about jobs, homeownership, and encouraging entrepreneurial risk-taking. But he provides almost no concrete guidance. Many anecdotes in the book have been called into question as fictional or exaggerated. Financial commentators point out that Rich Dad, Poor Dad glorifies risky real estate leverage and even suggests tactics that are illegal, like using insider information. A review in The Motley Fool noted that the book is devoid of specific financial advice and resembles late-night real estate seminars. Author John T. Reed, a prominent Kiyosaki critic, didn't mince words when he said, "Rich Dad, Poor Dad contains much wrong advice, bad advice, some dangerous advice, and virtually no good advice." He also called it one of the dumbest financial books I have ever read, full of factual errors and implausible stories. Additionally, Kiyosaki's own business track record is dubious. He's declared bankruptcy and promoted multi-level marketing. This book's get-rich promises are not backed by reality, and following its vague principles could lead readers astray financially. Number 5 is The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Often described as a manual for sociopaths, this book distills historical power tactics into 48 cynical laws. While some readers treat it as a tongue-in-cheek commentary on ruthless behavior, others might actually follow its unethical prescriptions. Each law teaches how to manipulate, deceive, and control others, such as pose as a friend, work as a spy, crush your enemy totally, and keep others in suspense. Nowhere does it encourage empathy, ethics, or cooperation. Critics argue that internalizing these rules will damage your character and relationships. A business writer reviewing the book said, "I have never read a more immoral and unethical book. This book puts forward a dangerous point of view, because some people will use it as a legit guide to scheme and betray." The 48 Laws of Power has actually been banned in some prisons for fear it might incite exploitation. Greene claims he's merely describing reality, but the text often endorses treachery as effective. As one reviewer summarized, it's a puffed-up Bible for psychopaths, essentially encouraging lying, backstabbing, and using others for personal gain. The end result may be power, or more likely a lonely existence devoid of trust. Either way, it's horrible advice for building a fulfilling life. Number 4, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra is a celebrity guru known for blending spiritual wisdom with promises of health and success, but most of his work has been slammed as pseudoscience. In The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, Chopra tells readers that by aligning with certain universal laws like karma or intention and desire, they can manifest unlimited abundance and even perfect health. The book offers pseudoscientific explanations involving quantum physics in misleading ways to sound authoritative. Scientists have roundly criticized Chopra's ideas as nonsense. For example, he suggests that illness is caused by energy imbalances and negative thoughts, and that through meditation and intention, one can achieve a state where you don't get sick and even stop aging. Medical experts warn that such claims are not only false, but dangerous if people start believing mindset alone can cure disease. Chopra's ideas have been regularly criticized by medical and scientific professionals as pseudoscience, filled with quantum jargon and mystical babble that may raise false hope and lure sick people away from legitimate medical treatments. While the book's spiritual affirmations might be harmless to a casual reader, the core advice that positive thinking and consciousness are literally all you need for success and health is unsupported and potentially harmful. It's a prime example of New Age self-help that sounds profound but fails the reality test. Number 3 is The Game Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists by Neil Strauss. This best-selling expose of the pickup artist subculture doubles as a how-to guide for manipulating women into bed. Strauss chronicles his journey from a shy nerd to a master pickup artist, using techniques learned from a dubious community of seduction gurus. The book is undoubtedly engaging as a story, but the advice it showcases is deeply troubling. The game teaches tactics like negging, which is insulting women to lower their self esteem, and using psychological tricks to wear down a woman's resistance. Women in the book are treated as targets to conquer rather than real people, and it promotes an idea of male entitlement to sex. A director of a women's charity criticized the game's mentality, saying, "It's premised on men being entitled to women. These sexist attitudes perpetuate dangerous ideas and cause violence against women." While Strauss himself later distanced himself from the book's impact, there's no denying that the game helped popularize manipulative dating ploys. At best, following its advice might turn you into a deceitful creep. At worst, it feeds into misogyny and emotional abuse. That lands the game firmly on the worst list for promoting harmful relationship behavior. Number two is Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About by Kevin Trudeau. This book isn't just bad, it's outright dangerous. Author Kevin Trudeau, a convicted fraudster, uses this book to claim that government and medical establishments are hiding easy, natural cures for every disease. Trudeau urges readers to distrust doctors and stop taking prescription medications, promising that his recommended natural remedies will heal them. None of these claims are backed by credible science. In fact, many are demonstrably false. For example, he suggests that sunblock causes cancer, tap water is poisonous, and that serious conditions like diabetes can be cured with herbal detoxes. The New York Times best-selling success of this book is alarming because it likely led some people to forego real medical treatment. Scientific American called it a rambling of uninformed opinions, conspiracy theories, and cheeky jabs at authorities. Yet vulnerable readers took it seriously. Trudeau's cult-like following paid hundreds of dollars for access to his Natural Cure website, which turned out to be a bait-and-switch scam. The Federal Trade Commission eventually prosecuted Trudeau, and he was fined and later jailed for fraud. Natural Cures epitomizes the worst of self-help. It preyed on the sick with false hope, made its author rich, and possibly cost people their lives or health. In terms of harmful advice, it's hard to top the damage this book has likely done. And number one, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. A book so bad, I did an entire video on it. Rhonda Byrne's The Secret became a global phenomenon and is widely criticized as one of the most damaging self-help books ever. It promises that the law of attraction, which is essentially wishing for something hard enough, is the key to achieving anything, including wealth, health, and happiness. According to The Secret, your thoughts magically vibrate to attract corresponding outcomes like think rich and you'll be rich, think negative and you'll invite misfortune. The book notably implies that people bring diseases or disasters onto themselves through negative thinking, which is a deeply harmful suggestion, especially to people who are suffering from illness. While positive thinking and visualization can be motivating and helpful, The Secret takes these ideas to an absurd extreme and rejects basic reality by telling readers to literally deny negative thoughts or evidence of problems. One blunt review in The Observer put it best: "The Secret is full of misplaced cliches, silly quotes, and superstitious drivel. It's a playbook for entitlement and self-absorption, and anyone who takes it seriously will likely end up worse off." In the short run, believing you can simply think yourself thin or wealthy might provide a placebo boost, but in the long run, this mentality can be disastrous, leading people to ignore actions, practical solutions, or medical care in favor of wishful thinking. It also cruelly suggests that anyone facing hardship like poverty or disease just didn't want to be better enough or had bad thoughts. In terms of both popularity and potential harm, The Secret tops this list. It repackaged an old scam of mind over matter promises into a modern bestseller, and millions bought into the hype. The thing is, no amount of positive vibes can replace hard work, critical thinking, or expert help. And The Secret's delusion that it can makes it the worst self help book of all time. What all of these books have in common is that they make life sound way more controllable than it actually is. They tell you that if you just think the right thoughts, say the right affirmations, or follow the rules closely enough, everything will fall into place. And if it doesn't, well, that's on you. And that's where things get tricky, because growth isn't supposed to feel like you're constantly failing a personality test. Life is complicated, people are complicated, and no book should make you feel worse for struggling with things that are genuinely hard. And if you've read any of these and found something useful, that's okay. It doesn't mean you were duped or naive. It just means you took what worked and hopefully left the rest behind. The real goal isn't to avoid self-help altogether. It's to be selective, curious, and a little skeptical, and very aware that if a book promises to fix everything, it probably can't. And that is the whole point of being on the side of caution. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think is the worst self-help book of all time.